Well, today I'm going to look at the Leeds DASA fisheries on the River Swale, and the first one we're going to look at is Skipton on Swale. So I'll just turn the camera around and away we go. We're approaching from Skipton on Swale, and come to this roundabout at Busby Stoop. The white building on the left. There's a pub called Busby Stoop. It's now an Indian restaurant. We turn left here. Go up the road towards Northallerton. Interesting story about the Busby Stoop, but I'll add that later. So come up here, not very far. Just where this chevron is, we take a left. Very careful because there's a pit here used to be full of disinfectant. So it pays not to come in here very quickly, otherwise this is this pit in front of us here. You go whacking into that at a pace, you'll be airborne. Renovated poultry farm, but we've invested an awful lot of money here. This used to be Skipton on Swale Aerodrome, where Canadian squadron of Halifax bombers was based during the Second World War. Right away around this big loop. You'll see this great big green slurry tank on the left hand side. We go past that. left hand side used to be a pig artificial insemination unit. I think it's now a landscape gardener's place. Leeds on this outright, they've had it for donkey's years. And here's a hidden sign. Car park. Just turn around, you can see my car and the blue car there. Well, the gate is out, but normally you go over this stile here and just down this little field to a gate at the bottom on the right hand side. The road's not very far, it's just behind those trees there. So you just go down through this gate and there you can see the river on the left hand side. There is the bottom limit sign. I'll just turn around. This is the first swim. The river seems to be carrying a fair amount of water actually today. And that's it leading upstream. There are 22 pegs on here. So it's quite a short length. We'll have a walk up anyway and have a look at it from the other end. On the opposite bank is Middlesbrough Angling Club's water. So this is the top limit. It's taken me about 10 minutes to walk up here. What happens to these signs I have no idea. This is about as remote as you can get. Yeah, I'll walk back down the stretch and we'll have a look at it on the way down. Well, the bank is quite steep at the top end. There's some lovely willows on the other side. Well, much to my amazement, there's a chap here fishing for pike. As I walked along the bank, I frightened him to death. Normally you don't see anybody at all down here. It's very, very remote, but it's a very, very peaceful place to fish. And nice to see somebody here. So this is from halfway down a stretch, and the bottom limit is that tree on the left hand side. There are some nice chub and some barbel in here. I mean, I have some lovely barbel out, but because very few people fish it, they're sort of few and far between. Nevertheless, when they do come out, they're absolutely pristine. And of course there are some very big pike in here, as there is in most of the Swale. £20 pike come out every year, £20 plus, and the occasional 30. It's quite windy today. I don't know if there'll be any wind noise on this video, but you just have to put up with what you get. And that's the last look up the stretch there. Well, as I'll finish this tale about Busby Stoop pub. In the 1700s, early 1700s, a chap called Thomas Busby used to drink there. He was a bit of a thug, a bit of a vagabond, and he was into a lot of crime with his father-in-law. And anyway, they fell out, and the upshot of it was there was a big row at the end of it. His father-in-law was sitting in his favourite chair in the pub, and Thomas Busby killed him. He was sent to York Assizes, and he was obviously sentenced to death and going to be hung. But rumour has it, or legend has it, whichever you want to take, that he cursed this chair. That he said that if anybody sat in his favourite chair after that, their days on earth would be numbered. And that was it. And he was hung, and he was hung on a gibbet with a sort of stoop post outside very close to the pub where people could see him, and that's how it comes to be called Busby Stoop. And anyway, the first person who sat in the chair afterwards was a chimney sweep who was found dead in the road afterwards. It turned out he'd been murdered. And he went on and on and on, and during the war, of course, there were a great number of aerodromes around here, with this being a Vale of York and very flat, and this is one of them, Skipton on Swale. I'm sitting here on the parking lot of a Halifax bomber. And they used to egg young airmen used to egg one another on to sit in this chair, and everybody who sat in it never returned from a mission. And the rumour built up from there. So nobody would sit in it. Anyway, in 1977, 2 airmen from a local airfield, they thought this was a lot of tosh. And they sat in this chair, blow made, just down the road a few miles. They ploughed their sports car into a tree and were killed. And then that was followed by a cleaner who, I don't know whether she sat in the chair, but she nudged it. And she got a brain tumour. So the landlord shifted it into the cellar out the way, because people were sort of queuing up at the door to sit in this thing, and he didn't want it on his conscience. And a delivery bloke one day down in the cellar, he sat in the thing. Well, lo and behold, he was killed too. So the landlord eventually donated it to a museum in Thirsk, with the condition that it was kept several feet above the floor, so no one could sit in it. I think it's actually screwed to a wall about 10 feet up in the air. So that's the rumour of Busby Stoop. You can see more about it on the internet. Anyway, we'll make our way down to Myton, which is the last stretch on the Swale, which Leeds have. So this is approaching it from the south. So I've come past the crossroads. So you come to these crossroads here, turn left to Myton. Tolthorpe and Easingwold right, Helperby and Thirsk straight on through these gates, what used to be gates, along this road to Myton Village, which is Domain Road. About a mile and a half down here to the village. And as we come into the village, there's a road goes off to the right, and just up there, not very far, road to Helperby, is Myton Grange Fishery. So here we are, we're in the village now. Far in. Now parking here is always difficult, but I will park on the left hand side where this other car is here. I'll just pull on here off the road. I'm not blocking anyone to drive, they can get out opposite. I'm not blocking anyone's gate. So you can see my car parked there by that little sort of pump cover and decoration. All these villages have a pump. That one there is rather nice, got that nice surround to it. So if you park along this edge, I don't think there would be a problem. I think they're holiday cottages, 2 of them. Anyway, just walk along this road here and down there. I mean, there is a sign on the right here which says public bridleway only, no vehicles beyond this point. North Yorkshire County Council. So vehicles are probably banned now down here. So down this little road, or bridleway as it's called, round the corner to the right, and there you'll see the bridge over the River Swale, which we'll have a look at. So it's a short walk. So this is Myton Bridge. When I first came down here, this was a complete ruin. Most of the balustrades were in the river, holes in the decking. It tells you a little bit about it here. Just a little bit. Right underneath is the Leeds amalgamation fishing sign. On the other side of the bridge is some information about the Battle of Myton in the 14th century. It's Robert the Bruce's victory at Bannockburn. After that, the Scots came down here and caused mayhem. And have a look at the information on it. The Scots are like that. Oh, that's very interesting. It's quite interestingly decorated as well. Knights in armour. And we have water above and below the bridge, so I'll go upstream a little bit, have a look, and then downstream. There's a little sign there says private property, no trespassing. Anyway, we go over this stile here and then up the riverbank. So that's the upstream side of the bridge. Downstream side you get a better view, and this is the River Swale, and just up here in these trees is an ancient Leeds sign, I seem to remember, which is the top limit. You can see where the bridge is there, and you just come up the riverbank here and you come to this sign here which says private property, keep out. These people in those houses up there have obviously bought the land all the way down to the river, and I think this will be the top boundary, although there's nothing here to say so. The ground here is the pole which used to have the Leeds sign on the top of it. Where the sign is, I have no idea. Access to the river above the bridge is very, very steep, and I would think you couldn't fish here. just drops off this edge. So you can fish here under the bridge, but fishing upstream is impossible. This is looking upstream from the bridge. As I said, Leeds off the left bank, which is the right bank as we look at it. For those who don't understand these things, the left and right banks are determined by looking downstream. The banks are so steep on the Leeds side, I think it's impossible to fish there. And this is looking downstream from the bridge. We're not very far from where the Swale and the Ewer meet at Swale Nab. It's only about a mile away down there, if that. So we go over this little stile here to the bottom length. It's just one field, it's not very far. They must have spent an absolute fortune on it because it was in a terrible mess years ago. This is the first peg below the bridge and it seems to be being used. Nice willows opposite. You don't often hear of barbel coming out of here, but it's very good pike water. There's some nice pike in here, and I don't doubt there's some nice chub as well. There must be barbel in here. I mean, there's barbel in the Ewer and there's barbel upstream of here, so there must be barbel in here. But they're quite elusive. Now, first peg is there, and here is another peg somebody's been fishing. Oh, here's another one. It's obviously very popular, this one. Let's put it this way, it's more popular than the others. And this is the very bottom peg which people, anglers seem to be using, and there you can see the bottom limit sign. And that is looking down the river towards Swale Nab and the River Ewer. So if you want to access the bottom peg, rather than going up to the bridge and over the stile, you could go across there, which is much more direct and much easier walking. Just follow the flood bank along, takes you to the bottom pegs. Let's go and have a look at Helperby, which is the next one up. So this is the old pump house, which has been completely renovated. Lots of North Yorkshire villages have retained the pump, but nothing quite as grand as this. It was renovated in 2011. Posh.